Welcome back, everybody. Day number 8 for Appalachian Trail Summer 2025. The sun is out, so we are up and rolling this morning, and I am about almost a mile in, probably a little over a mile now. Just crossed over the bridge that goes over Sergeant Brook, but this morning, about 6:45 a.m., I started back at where I started yesterday, at Upper Cold River Road. But this time, we are going north, up and over Mount Killington today, and then down to US Route 4. And pretty much the way that it looks, it is 6 miles up to the peak of Mount Killington, and then about 6 miles down to US Route 4, where I will be picked up for the day. And it's supposed to be a sunshiny day. There is a chance of some thunderstorms about 3 or 4 o'clock, but I should be up and over Killington well before that. And so let's get to some stats here. I started at mile marker 1,697.1. I'm hiking north to mile marker 1,709.3, which makes it 20. It's about a pretty even day. 2,900 feet of ascent and 2,600 feet of descent. And by the time I end today, I will be 467.9 miles to Katahdin. And ironically enough, as soon as I started this morning, maybe 15 footsteps in, there was the sign that said 500 miles to Katahdin. So if you are through hiking from Upper Cold River Road, it is about 500 miles to Katahdin, which has got to be a good feeling, because I know it's a good feeling for me. So we have been meandering through the Vermont woods this morning, and no river crossing. There was actually a bridge over that body of water I just went over, and I am thankful for dry feet. So hopefully y'all can hear those birds this morning. I think this is the earliest start that I've gotten so far. Day number 8, and it looks like sunshine right now, according to the weather forecast, several days ahead. So I'm going to keep on cruising and hiking when it's sunny, because every sunshine day counts. And the first rainy day, full rainy day, I will take a day off. Otherwise, we're going to be hiking, folks. And it looks like sometime in the next 8 to 10 days, we will be hitting the White Mountains. And I know for positivity, for sure, I will be taking a day off before I go up into the Whites, because I got to plan my itinerary and what I'm going to do. Just to give you guys a little forecast, I'm going to take my time going through the Whites. If I need to go hut to hut to hut, that's what I'm going to do. If I need to go campsite to campsite, that's what I'm going to do. I'm really going to take a look at it. I kind of know what I want to do. If I can go hut to hut, I'll do that, because I've always wanted to do that. But we'll have to see with reservations and the weather of all the things to come. But we got a while before we get there. About a week or so, according to my calculations, or earlier. I already have trail brain. So I tried to look at everything last night. And of course, I don't know what happens. I can look at far out 1,000 times, and then the very next morning I got to look at it again. So if you guys are like me, you can kind of look at far out and see a mileage plan, but the very next day, everything is subject to change, and you got to look at everything again. So day number 8, the birds are singing. I can hear the river down below me. My next point is going to be Governor Clement Shelter, which is an older shelter. Pretty cool shelter, but it is known to have locals activity and bear activity. I don't know about right now, but that's the way it used to be. But what I do know is when you get to that shelter, you start the climb to Killington. So y'all, we're headed toward Governor Clement Shelter and starting our ascent up Killington. And once we get rolling up Killington, I will be back to give y'all an update. All right. This is the point in the podcast where I tell you I am climbing Killington, and I am just under 2 miles from the top, and it's getting real, folks. I have been going blaze to blaze sometimes. All right, get to the next blaze. All right, get to the next blaze. So this is the real and uncut Jester on a very humid morning. Not complaining. I'm very thankful. But the reality is, it's hard. I certainly don't have my trail legs yet. On some parts, I feel like I'm going so slow I could fall backwards. But that's not really the case. So I just look up to the next white blaze, which I am doing right now. And thank goodness they're pretty close together. And then I pause, like right here, I'm going to pause for about 10 to 15 seconds, catch my breath, and look up to the next one. So here we go. All right, y'all. It's a great day. I'll see you at the top. All right, y'all. I am still climbing Killington, and I wanted to let you know the smell of pine and evergreen are so magical right now. I can take a breath in, and it's like I can taste it as well. I don't know if I've ever had that. There's always the strong smell of pines in the western North Carolina mountains, especially when you're climbing Mount Mitchell. And maybe I've had this before and I forgot. There is no candle on this earth that could give you this. The smell and taste of something that you're not even putting in your mouth. Or I'm not even putting anything up to my nose. Just kind of walking through it is fantastic. All right, that's all. All right, I am back, and it has been a few hours since I have recorded anything. I made it up Killington, and when I got to the top, there is a shelter up there, and it is called Cooper Lodge. And they also have some tent platforms. And I had some lunch sitting up there on the tent platforms. I brought some leftover dinner from last night for lunch. Some amazing chicken tenders. And those chicken tenders, I had literally, it was like 2 minutes they were gone. And then I hadn't tried these yet, some Mr. Beast peanut butter cups, and they were pretty good. So had lunch up there. I have only seen one other person today another guy out doing a day hike. And we kind of just said hey to each other up there and then went on our merry way. And then I started heading down to Route 4 where I am going to end for today. And y'all, I am tired. This is one of those downhills that is just as hard as the uphill. Several planks of death, which are those wooden planks that are over bogs, just rocks, roots, mud, all the things. And it's almost like your step has to be more calculated going down than it does going up. And I am going down right now. You can probably hear my pole slamming the side of a rock. Anyway, and then I made my way down to a place known as Jungle Junction. There is a trail sign there, and I wanted to read this to you all from Far Out. At Jungle Junction, it says, in Far Out, the Sherburne Pass Trail. So the junction kind of wise out, and the AT and the Long Trail go left, and then the Sherburne Pass Trail goes to the right. So it says the Sherburne Pass Trail leaves the AT-LT at Jungle Junction. The old route of the AT follows Sherburne Pass Trail over Pico Peaks ski slopes and down to Sherburne Pass at the inn at Long Trail. Mileage from the Jungle Junction to its northern junction with the AT is about the same either way. The AT is newer and in better condition, but the Sherburne Pass Trail has more views and access to Pico Peak. So, I guess if you wanted to, you could take the Sherburne Pass Trail, and the trail's not as groomed, I guess. This is not really groomed in my opinion, but if you wanted to get views of Pico Peak and all that good stuff, you would be off the Appalachian Trail, but there is always an option. So, I took a left, and I am continuing north on the Appalachian Trail / Long Trail, because this is also the section where the AT and the LT, or the Long Trail, incorporate together. And soon, not far from here, not far north from here, there is a spot called Main Junction, where the Long Trail splits off to the left, and then the AT carries off to the right. So, with that being said, it has been quite the day, and I'm tired. And I've got it's either 3 miles or just under 3 miles to go down to Route 4. So I am navigating my way down to Route 4, and hopefully y'all can hear me sloshing in the mud there. And there's not much else to report, except I am tired today. I have eaten a lot of my snacks. I have drank a lot of water. And it's just one of those days. And that's just the way it is. But there have been some amazing breezes just again when I needed a breeze. And the sun is out and the birds are chirping. So that is putting a smile on my face. And again, this is just all prep for what's to come in the future in the Whites and Maine. So anyway, I'm actually going to close out the episode here and pay a little bit more attention like I need to the trail and work my way down to Route 4. I am going to get a shower this evening at the campground and chill out and look and see what's going to be happening for tomorrow. I believe the sun is going to be out tomorrow, so we are going to be back on trail. But if not, we'll adjust and make a new plan. So in the meanwhile, y'all, I am working my tired butt down to Route 4. Oh, that breeze feels good. So once again, We'll be back soon. Thanks for listening. Be safe out there and happy section hiking.